Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a video here from Love in London, and a lot of y'all like her, and I think she's got some pretty good insight. Even as an American, I guess she's lived there for a little while. She's married to a British person, um, or was, I'm not sure. But this particular video is from February, and it is Sunday Roast, a first timer's guide for UK tourists. So, as you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, I've done a few on Sunday Roast. Here, that's my favorite meal is a pot roast. It's not called a Sunday roast or anything like that here, but you do a pot roast. Have some horseradish with it and some carrots, potatoes. Usually, you'll pour whatever the gravy is, au jus or brown gravy over top of all of it. Oh, and some onions in there, maybe a roll. I know yours is similar, but not quite the same. You guys have some turnips and some Yorkshire pudding, which looks incredible, along with some other things. But I'm just excited here to see what her insight on it is and get your all's opinion. So I will link this video in the description, along with links for Patreon, how you can support the channel here on YouTube. If you haven't done so, go check out Patreon. You join for free and get tons of access to me reacting to British shows. There's even a movie. I've watched a couple movies over there. I do more shows than movies. But we'll see. We'll probably get into that. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into this.
There's one food experience here in London that a lot of tourists haven't heard of, but that us locals would be genuinely horrified if you missed out on it. It's not afternoon tea, it's not fish and chips, it is kid-friendly, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It's called a Sunday roast, and it's one of the most important meals in British culture. And if you're visiting London on a Sunday and you don't do this, you've basically missed out on how London eats. So what exactly is Sunday roast? It's basically Britain's version of a proper Sunday dinner, traditionally eaten at home or more commonly in what you're going to do at the pub. It's a sit-down hot meal built around a roast meat, usually chicken, beef, lamb, or pork, crispy roast potatoes, roast vegetables like carrots, broccoli, and cabbage, a whole pile of gravy, and a Yorkshire pudding, which is actually not a pudding in the American sense. It's also not a pudding in the British dessert sense. It's actually a savory, puffy, hollow, batter-based savory thing that's kind of similar to an American popover, and you use it for gravy. In London, Sunday roast can be a super casual and chill thing, or it can be more luxurious and high-end, just depending on which venue you choose to have it at. But ultimately, it's comfort food, and the goal is simple. Be full, be cozy, and use it to spend time with your friends and family having a nice, relaxing Sunday. Okay, let me talk you through the key things you should know to make a Sunday roast happen on your trip, and also how to make sure it's a really, really good one. Sunday roast can be found at most pubs and at certain restaurants. Pubs are really the classic place that you're going to have a Sunday roast, and any pub that serves food throughout the week will have a Sunday roast menu on Sunday. And because we have so many pubs in London, you don't really have to go super far to get a good Sunday roast, but you do need to just make sure you choose your venue wisely, because the quality varies. Honestly. Yeah. There are also quite a few higher end restaurants serving British cuisine that will also do Sunday roast, but you usually need to book a Sunday roast in advance. The best venues in London for Sunday roast will book up days, if not weeks in advance. So if you expect to rock up on a Sunday and just get a table, there is a lot of room for disappointment there. I mean, it can happen, but the really, really good places usually you have to book. Each pub will have its own booking system that's right on its website, so it's easy peasy. But here's the deal with choosing a time slot. Sunday roast is served for a limited window and not all day. Most pubs will serve Sunday roast from around midday until like late afternoon and sometimes into the early evening. And once they run out of the meats, then it is done. So don't expect for this to be like a later 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock dinner type of situation. In fact, I like to go like around 3 o'clock because then I can count it as kind of a lunch and a dinner, and it's a lot of food. So actually it kind of works out really nicely.
Yeah,
and then it just means I don't have to
time.
worry about dinner on a Sunday, and I can just kind of like cozy up and watch a movie. And if you're like, I don't know what to say to get a Sunday roast once I get there, here's the good news. It's pretty simple to order. You'll be automatically given the Sunday roast menu, and it will outline which of the meats that they have on offer that day, plus any vegetarian or vegan options. And you basically just go around the table and say chicken, beef, veggie, etc. All like the extras come automatically, so you don't have to mention those. By the way, you're usually doing this in the seated area of a pub, although some of the more casual pubs, you can go up and order it at the bar and get it sent to your table, but I think it's nicer to do it in the pubs that have the restaurant section. Oh, and I can't forget the bit that I really love. The Yorkshire pudding is part of the meal, not the dessert.
So
as I mentioned,
soak
this
up
is not like a
everything as
desserty
you
thing,
eat,
and it
right?
actually comes out on the plate with everything else. And it's a savory thing, and you can use it to mop up your gravy. That's the best way to do it. Keep in mind, if you're veggie or vegan, you might not get a Yorkshire pudding with your roast. Usually vegetarian they'll give it, but vegan, unless they make a vegan Yorkshire pudding, which most places won't, then you won't get one. And if you're gluten-free, you generally won't get the Yorkshire pudding. However, the rest of Sunday roast tends to be gluten-free because most pubs do use flourless gravy. However, you should always check that before you eat anything. And if you're thinking of sharing a Sunday roast, just know that it's customary that each person orders their own roast. It isn't a sharing meal. You don't order a roast for the table. Everybody orders their own plate, and it comes out to you, and you eat your plate individually.
Okay.
Now, in theory, if like 2 people wanted to split a roast, you could, but it's not really a thing you would do. But here's something you should definitely do. Plan to spend at least 90 minutes at Sunday roast. Like I said, this is a long, relaxed social engagement. People tend to linger, they order drinks. My choice is to go with red wine. And it's just something that you like don't really have to rush. So I wouldn't plan Sunday roast to like be cornered into something between like seeing a bunch of the museums or something like that. Just relax, give it a lot of time. This can be a good opportunity on your trip to not feel like you have to rush around and just kind of sit and relax and chill and like get some energy back. Also, if you have a few drinks and you get sloshed, you get sloshed. That's sometimes what people do on Sunday. It's fun, it's part of tradition. You're on holiday, have a good time. Yeah. Okay, so what about how much all this costs?
Good.
What you should know is that
I'm sure
Sunday roast costs more than the regular pub food. And that's because it's quite labor intensive, it's very meat heavy, and it's like kind of high in demand and limited time offer. So you should expect for any pubs or restaurants that you go to in central London where you get a Sunday roast, and central London's where most of you are going to have a Sunday roast, that the cost will be between like £17 up to like 25, and then for really luxurious places, maybe £30 per roast. Also, thankfully, it's not just meat options. Vegetarian Sunday roast is pretty common, but you should always check the menu. As I've already mentioned, there are veggie options and vegan options, but the quality does vary. So you do always just want to check on the menu before you book at a place to make sure that they do have a veggie option. Also, sometimes the vegetarian and vegan Sunday roast is very similar to what everyone who got meat is like. So you get all like the veggies and the roast potatoes and the extras, and instead of the meat, they swap it for something called a nut roast, which is kind of similar to stuffing, and it's usually pretty good. It depends on the place you go to. But then other places instead will just do something like completely different, and it doesn't come with the veg and stuff like that. So if you're really keen on having that similar experience, make sure you try to find a place that has something with either a nut roast on the menu, or it says on the menu that you still get all the roast trimmings. That's usually what they call it. Also, because pubs can run out of certain options by the late afternoon, if you're vegetarian, I would add this as a note to your booking. That way they know that there's someone coming that will need one of the vegetarian options later in the day, and hopefully they should save one for you. They won't do that for the meats because meats can, people can choose other meats, but obviously if you're vegetarian or vegan, you only have one option. So add that to your booking notes. Also, if you have the kids with you on your trip, Sunday roast is very kid friendly. In fact, Sundays at the pub is very much a family affair. So it's totally fine to bring the kids along to the pub and have a nice long Sunday roast. You will see lots of other families there as well, especially in areas like Notting Hill where there's just a lot of families around. They don't really do kids Sunday roast though, most places. So if you want them to eat something else, then check what they have for kids. A good Sunday roast is unforgettable, and a bad one is just sad. If you only have—
You guys, let me know, because, I did know, because, like I said, I've watched other videos. I knew that, turkey was kind of one that was included in that. And then from watching the Carvery, they had, I think, beef turkey and, a type of ham, gammon. And then I saw in this one, they had, another type of pork and maybe something else. What is your favorite meat to have with your Sunday roast? I think for me, I would have to have some kind of beef. I just like those flavors together. But let me know what your favorite is, what you prefer.
Have one Sunday in London and therefore only one chance to try a Sunday roast, please make sure you pick a good one. Otherwise, it will ruin your trip. As I mentioned, you don't usually have to travel too far to find a good one, but you just have to make sure you've done some research and found one that's probably gonna be decent. By the way, I have tried a lot of Sunday roast over the years, and if you have one of my London itineraries or my casual tourist guides, I have all of the top pubs that I recommend to have Sunday roast in all across the city in those guides. So nice. You can dive in there and grab all of my recommendations without having to sit through hours of my videos trying to find where else I have recommended Sunday roasts. And if you don't have one of my guides, you should definitely check them out because it makes your trip planning much easier. You can scan this QR code here.
Right, I get it. That was good. That was a really good video. And I think she kind of echoed what some of you guys have told me is you want to it's specific places, not everywhere. It's going to be good. It's not going to be the same. But I think she did a really good job covering pretty much all of the bases. I know, if I make it over there's a GoFundMe in the description, guys. I'm definitely going to be coming to you all. I'm going to be doing some posts or some shorts or some videos and be like, hey, this is the areas that I'm going to be. Let me know the best place to go get a Sunday roast or whatever it is I'm trying to get a hold of. Definitely want to try some Greg's sausage roll. A couple things from Greg's, but for sure the sausage rolls. But yeah, Sunday roast is definitely on that list, and probably some curry or something like that, because that's not even something I've had. It is something that you can get Indian food around here, but I imagine it's probably better there. And it's just for me, I don't know. I would be the only one that would eat it, and I just don't know the good place. I don't even really know what all to get. So that would be someone else I'll be coming to you guys for if I make it there. That's the goal. But this was good. I do like her. I like her videos. You guys seem to really enjoy her content, and I absolutely understand why. I might come back and do something of hers later because I know she does a lot of travel and train stuff too, or underground. And I just enjoy those videos, and I know a lot of you guys do as well. But yeah, don't forget to go check her out if you haven't done so. Subscribe to her. Subscribe here if you haven't done it. Like, share, hype, all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day.